Welcome to the Gaming Outsider Podcast. This week, Mark from the Go News team joins Jacob and I to talk about why people enjoy games that are incredibly difficult. In news, GTA 6 has been delayed again, so we'll discuss what that means for future releases. As for new games, it's all Mark this week, and he'll tell us his thoughts on a PC game called Casting Whispers, as well as a pizza delivery on PS5. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com, our Facebook page, group, facebook.com/groups/the GoCast, and a Discord server. You can find a link for that in the show notes of this very episode. It is Monday, November 10th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me is my good friend, Mr. Jacob Gunnarsson. Jake, how you doing?
Hi, not too bad. How are you?
I am doing all right. It is, we are Chrisless and we are Zackless this week, and we are recording early, which is crazy. I tried to take the week off because I wanted to watch the Packer game tomorrow night on Monday night, and that did not work out for me. So here I am recording a day early with
on
you.
The 9th.
It is the 9th?
It is the 9th.
Oh my goodness.
Or at least it's what my computer says.
Okay, I tried to I forgot to change the date on the format, and I just added 7 to the previous date, and I forgot we were a day early, so I apologize. It is the 9th that we were recording this. Anyway, yes, like I said, we are CB-less and we are Zackless, but we do have somebody very special joining us from our own writing team, as well as the guy leading our news team over at the Gaming Outsider, Mr. Mark Szymanski. Mark, how you doing, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I actually got to play some games today. Nice. And I'm very frustrated, but I'll explain why in just a second. But we got a lot of games to talk about that we've been catching up on. And let's start with you, Mark. What have you been playing? Not brand new, but games you've been catching up on.
All right. So much like you, I've also been playing Claire Obscura Expedition 33.
And that's why I'm frustrated.
Oh, I'm probably a few days behind you, I would imagine. I just learned the password that you have to scream at somebody. So still pretty early on. I think my PS5
oh my goodness,
20% in.
That's really early, man.
Yes.
So I literally had to turn the game off to come record this podcast with you guys, and I'm just started the fight with the final boss. Like, I am literally right there. It's paused right now, 5 feet away from me. And so I have thoughts about the game, and I will do it spoiler free because I know you haven't played it and a lot of our listeners haven't played it. But I haven't actually had a chance to talk to you about this game other than just a couple chats and things on Discord. But what are you thinking of it?
It's gorgeous. I'm loving it. Despite the turn-based thing, like I've said before, the twist that they put on the turn-based makes it so much more enjoyable for me. The story has me hooked. I am intrigued to find out what the heck everything means and to finally destroy the final boss when I get to the end, because that is an awful world to live in, knowing that, I mean, it's not really a spoiler because it's the opening scene, but knowing that your life has a time limit on it, essentially. So I'd rather not force those computer-generated players to ever have to feel that way again.
Let me tell you, man, this story, oh my goodness. Oh, there's no chance this game is not going to win Game of the Year at the Game Awards. I mean, I'm biased because I like it, but this game is doing so much in its storytelling, in its art, in its music, in its combat that is so different from anything I've ever played before, yet it still feels familiar. Like it feels like putting on like getting into a warm bath every time I play it. You're talking about how good the combat is. Wait until you start nailing the parries, because man, once you get the parries down and you're able to do like an entire expedition counterattack, it feels amazing, and everything just starts to really, really click. Oh, and the story just messes with your head, and it has stuff that you will not see coming. Like genuinely will not see coming. And it's really, really good. I am so in love with this game. So glad you're enjoying it. But
oh yeah, keeping going.
What difficulty are you playing on?
Oh, story mode, of course. I have no interest in spoiler alert for later, I suppose, but I have no interest in frustrating myself. I want to sit down and have a good time.
Gotcha.
Really? What's the fun in that?
We can talk
Spoiler
later.
alert for later.
Yeah. Now this is one I don't fault anybody for playing on the easy level of difficulty, because this is a game that needs to be experienced.
Mhm.
I couldn't imagine. I really want to kind of get down to the nitty gritty and find out what the differences are between the levels of difficulty, outside of just higher hit points, or your characters don't do quite as much damage. I want to see the math behind the parry and dodge windows, just to see how narrow and tight, or narrow and wide, those are based on the different difficulties. I really want to see how that works.
Yeah.
I'm not even using dodges anymore. I am always parrying all the time.
I will dodge on if it's a brand new enemy and I've never faced them before and I just want to get used to how they attack, I will use dodge. But
Yeah.
otherwise, yes, I'm all parry. And I think my doing it on story or easy, whatever it's called, really opens the window a little bit wider for parries, because I don't miss them very often.
Yeah. Oh, it's a really good game. What else you been checking out, man?
Well, I haven't checked them out just yet, but I put in the Facebook or the Discord a couple weeks back how I was expanding my backlog of all the excellent games that I've missed over many, many years. And I found, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in the last week that were on awesome sales. So I picked them up. Resident Evil 2, 4, and Village, Inside, and Nier Automata have all been added to my library on their respective consoles. And I am looking forward to jumping into any of those as soon as time permits.
Now, are you talking, when you say Resident Evil 2 and 4, are you talking the remakes of those?
Yes, the remakes.
Okay.
Although, to be fair, I never played them on PlayStation either.
Oh, okay. Well, you're in for a treat then, story-wise. There's some fun stuff that goes on there. I would recommend starting with Inside, because that game will take you, I don't know, 6 hours. It's a shorter one, and I really want to hear your thoughts on that one. After that, I don't know where to start with 2 and 4. Have you played the original Resident Evil?
Back in 1990, whatever it was. Yes.
Did you finish it? Like, do you know the story? Okay.
No.
So I don't even remember. Like, maybe go back and watch a refresher of the story of the first one. It's not like even though it's a 2, it is a direct sequel. But I feel like some of the stuff from the first game would be good to know going into the second one, and that remake is really great. So
that's what I'll do.
So those are the 5, because your list that you had, your backlog list, is much longer than just these 5 titles.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. So I put them all on a wish list on whether it's Switch, whether it's Steam, whether it's PlayStation.
Gotcha.
I put them on a wish list, and then they just tell me when they're on sale. And if I like the sale, I'll buy it.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, Jake, what about you? What have you been catching up on?
Oh man, I got to go back to the format. I've been playing a game. I've been playing a game called Dead Poly. It is a zombie survival game. It's I'm not sure how many people are working on it, but it's kind of a labor of love for this guy. It came out several years ago, and at some point he updated the game to a level and it destroyed everything. And it was put a bad taste in my mouth. I got out. A bunch of people stayed in for a little bit. He issued a full apology, said that he dropped the ball, blah, 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 reverted the game back. I think it took a couple of months because he had to actually actually revert files and all that stuff and re-upload and all that nonsense. And it was a big blow. But the game is back. The game is being updated. It's got a lot of new stuff in it. The game is actually quite simple for a zombie survival type of game. But most of the loot and the stuff in the game spawns in every building randomly every day. And so you just kind of do a run and see what's around and fight zombies while you're doing it.
But I'm looking at the trailer right now, and it looks very, I feel like calling it Dead Poly is very apt, because it looks very low poly.
Yes.
In the graphics, but it's third person. It almost like, imagine I don't want to say this, I know you hate this game, okay? But Fortnite with lower quality graphics.
Yes.
And it is a survival game, like third person, but it's in an urban setting. I've never seen a survival game like this where you're chopping down trees and things like that in an urban setting.
There was actually one point where I had a shovel and some of the water mains burst in the ground, and it exposes the dirt underneath, and you can dig that for dirt.
Nice.
So there are forested areas, but traveling it takes a while.
Right.
You do still have to keep up with food and water. So that's kind of important. Your limbs take damage and will break if you get hit too many times in certain areas.
Yeah.
So you kind of make a base and do runs and get stuff together. And It's just it's a
This
fun
is a
little
you
game.
game. This is a you game through and through.
It's not very hard. It's just a fun little game to see how far someone is coming to like complete their game. I go back and check up on a bunch of games that are whatever. Planet Smith is coming along. I haven't talked about that game in a while.
Yeah,
That
dude, I
game,
remember that. That game was like nothing there when you started it.
yes, and now they've got actual character models and
Oh, okay.
enemies and stuff to go fight. So that game is slowly becoming something, but I was surprised to see that it had actual character models now.
Nice.
But either way,
Very cool. I already talked about Claire Obscure Expedition 33, but I did jump back into Balatro a little bit this week, and
lame.
I did not complete any runs. I had a really good one I thought was gonna work, and
Oh
then I got
man,
screwed at the very end. What?
so I have beaten the first level of Bricks Breaker
Oh yeah.
on easy and normal, or on normal and no, it's easy and normal. Okay,
Okay.
and then the last one is hard. So yeah, I've done like 70 something levels.
Yeah. I hit a wall and I got frustrated. I
A wall of bricks.
No, not that.
Hey-o.
Nice. I got to give a shout out to Mindy. She also corrected me. It is Sunday, not Monday. I said Monday in the intro because I totally Ron Burgundy. But all right, well, that's the games we've been catching up on. Let's go ahead now and jump into the week's news. All right, first things first, we got some news provided by Mark and his news team over at. See how I said his news team and not my
Ooh,
news team?
Yeah.
This is Mark's news team over on
Watch
The
out.
Gaming
I'm
Outsider.
going to be the gaming outsider pretty soon.
I am the captain now. So we got Maiden of the Dark. This is an independent dev team that has a Kickstarter out for their upcoming Game Boy game. Friend of the show, TJ Kitsune, is friends with one of the developers. I think it is the developer. I think this is one guy making this game. I actually kickstarted this. I bought the Uber, like the whole box and everything. It was like only 25 of that tier available. I bought it, and then like a few hours, there was only 2 left. So I might have something kind of cool. Plus, we get to put our name in the credits. So instead of putting Scott Clark, I'm going to put the Gaming Outsider in the credits
Right
of a
on.
Game Boy game. How cool would that be?
Oh, thank you so much, Scott.
Anyway,
I
Harvest
appreciate the
Dice.
shout-out.
Abundia's Blessing coming soon to Steam. It's a tabletop-looking dice and card game with roguelite elements. Might be right up your alley. Black Jacket. Mark was a play tester for this variation on classic Blackjack with a roguelike deck builder twist. Says win your way out of purgatory. And then lastly, Hitman World of Assassination gets a Bruce Lee DLC pack. It's available on all current platforms and consoles until November 20th. If you'd like to read more about any of those, head over to thegamingoutsider.com. In other news, some pretty big delays this week. Marvel 1943, The Rise of the Hydra has been delayed, but the big one is Grand Theft Auto 6, delayed yet again. Nintendo's patents are being re-examined, and can't go an episode without talking about layoffs, so we'll talk about some more layoffs this time over at Square Enix. And then Red Dead Redemption 2, now officially the 4th highest selling game of all time. Mark, you are our, not guest, but you're not here normally. I'm going to let you kick things off. What would you like to talk about?
Well, I was going to talk about the layoffs, but not really the layoffs themselves. But if you would rather lead with the Grand Theft Auto 6 stuff, I would be.
No, go for it, man.
For a moment.
Go for it.
Well,
start with the bad news.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
Layoffs are bad. I've heard everybody talk about it. I don't know anyone that thinks layoffs are good. It's part of business, I understand, but in the end, it still affects people's lives. But the part of that press release that caught my attention was the sentence that said, expect 70% of its QA work to be handled by generative AI. It bugs me because that's a complete misconception about what AI can do. And the word generative itself tells me that whoever wrote that press release has no clue what AI is. Because generative AI is creation. You're creating art, you're creating text, you're creating even some code. You can help it. It can help you make code. But what it can't do is test. QA isn't creating, it's about testing and validating. QA teams don't even write the unit tests. Developers do that. So generative AI is great for producing things like those texts or the art. But QA requires the critical observation and the context and reasoning and all the things that go along with quality assurance. Those aren't generative. those things aren't even really AI
Okay.
worthy. That's all
I'm
human.
confused because that makes it sound like 70% of the QA team is going to be let go so that AI can take over and do the testing. You're
Yeah,
saying that's not the case?
AI can never do that. That's the thing. It's not equipped to do it yet. We're not at
Mhm.
that point in AI. And beyond that, QA work isn't generative. So I think they're just using buzzwords. Maybe they're trying to keep holders happy or something like that.
I mean, it might be buzzwords. They could use generational AI, which would, if have a character go out and test something, and if it failed to do its thing, then retry it. But I mean, that also has extreme limitations.
Very much limited, yes.
And so, I mean, some of these things that, I mean, when I was in school, they wanted QA testers to find 2,000 bugs in a game a day, which is absurd. But I mean, you are slamming yourself against walls, you're jumping into pockets, you're pushing a bunch of random buttons all at once. You're just testing literally everything the game has. And so having, I mean, yeah, can it do the work 10 times faster? Yes, but is it going to be able to do everything a human can? No. It's not going to know everything.
So you're saying that this might be like trying to stir up some stuff?
Stir up stuff, or just keep investors investing. Because they're like, we're using AI. Ooh, everybody's AI. Woo.
Or to save money.
Investors like those two letters for sure.
They do.
You get rid of 70% of your QA team for a computer that's going to run everything to a simulation. This just means that games are going to come out worse, and there's going to be less people actually looking at the game.
Right.
This is very true. If that's the case, Jake is absolutely right.
All right. Well, the actual meat and potatoes of this story is the actual layoff. There is an unknown number of employees in the U.S. and up to 137 employees in the U.K. They were to be let go by the end of last week. What's interesting with Square Enix is they've already sold Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, Square Enix Montreal, and a number of associated IPs to Embracer Group. The Western office is now really are only managing Life is Strange, Outriders, and Just Cause. Number one, I didn't know Outriders and Just Cause were still a thing. Are they making Just Cause and I thought Outriders was a dead IP at this point. Like I feel like it was a flash in the pan for a minute. Who's still playing Outriders?
That game was really fun.
Yeah.
every now and then I have to go back. But yeah, it was like 3 levels or something, and then it was done. So yeah, it was a flash in the pan.
And Life is Strange had a series, but I feel like nobody's just clamoring for more Life is Strange. I don't know. It's just here's the statement from Square Enix. They said, "We are reorganizing our operations in North America and Europe to strengthen our development structure and to drive a globally integrated marketing strategy. This was an extremely difficult decision made following careful consideration and analysis by our leadership in order to best position the group's long-term growth. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the talented team members who will be departing the company for their significant contributions to Square Enix during this period of transition. We remain committed to treating each individual with the utmost respect and providing extensive support throughout this process," unquote. That sounds like a lot of like what you should be saying. And I also recognize that 137 employees is not nearly as awful as the thousands that have been let go by Microsoft and other companies.
Just wait.
Just wait. Why?
Finish your thought.
No, that was it. That was my thought.
Oh, okay. So the line that got me was Square Enix sold Crystal Dynamics, blah blah, all that nonsense, all those IPs to Embracer Group. Does anyone know who Embracer Group is?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so Embracer Group is a conglomerate
Correct.
that owns a bunch of stuff. This story actually hits really close to home because Embracer Group actually owns Dark Horse Entertainment, which is the comic book company that Zach works for. Or
used to work for. Yeah.
Work for. So over the last 2 years, they were $2 billion in debt. Over the last 2 years, they closed 44 studios, including Volition, which was Saints Row. They closed Pieces Interactive, which was Alone in the Dark, and Free Radical Design, which is Time Splitters. They've also canceled 80 in development projects, including the new Deus Ex, new Red Faction games, and the Time Splitters game that was supposed to come out. And over the last 2 years, they've also let go of 11,000 jobs all over the world.
So what you're saying is this is just the beginning.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have this company that is, I mean, just this year, halfway through the year, Embracer was finally saying that they were in the black again. because of they're selling, I mean, it has become a game of selling studios from one company to another company just
It's a shell game.
just to shell it. And so you have Square Enix selling to the Embracer Group, who just sold a bunch of stuff to Nintendo so they could stay alive. But Embracer Group doesn't look like it's going to survive either.
Right.
They're like losing, like they're overspending, and they're letting go of a bunch of people. They went from 15,000 people around the world to just over 5,000.
Wow.
So yeah. I mean, and 44 studios closing, that's 22 a year. That's insane. That's a bunch of games that we're never going to see the light of day because they just decided to overspend and not be able to pay.
Well, and it's obviously awful news for those people, but I mean, look at the market right now. I mean, I'm on a gaming podcast and I can't even keep my head above water with all the new releases. I can't even you dabble in all of these games, much less play and complete. You know what I mean? Like there's just so much coming out. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And so at some point it's got to break. It's almost like buying all of these companies is not a good idea.
No.
I sound like Zach at this point, because he's been against these kinds of mergers for since the beginning.
Right. They own Embracer owns, I think, 120 plus studios.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's whatever. But we're drinking from a fire hose. That's kind of our job. That's what we're doing. But the normal consumer is not doing that. They're looking for things. And when you're looking for Embracer, their thing was they were working on Turok and they were working on new Jurassic Park stuff, and that fell through. All of those things fell through because of this deal that they had going on, and they were looking forward to $2 billion coming in, and it didn't work. And then they were short $2 billion. So it just ended up becoming a mess. But now there's a bunch of games that, the individual person wanted to see come out, and now it's not going to come out. It sucks for the consumer. Because that's, us. Okay, fine. Whew, there's a break in games. Now we can go do the other 10 that we need to go do. But the plates for other people, the normal people, I mean, if I wanted the Deus Ex one to come out and I was looking forward to it, now it's gone. It's just dead.
Right.
So when you're looking forward to just one IP coming out, or one or two IPs or whatever, and some big conglomerate just goes, well, we don't have enough money, time to kill it.
Yeah, and what is the consumer supposed to do? Because you don't know which place you're supposed to throw your dollars at in order to get the game based on the IP that you want. You know what I mean? So it's just it's just crazy.
Well, the terrible bright side, but a possible bright side is once these conglomerates fail, those IPs will be valued at pennies. They'll be liquidated basically, and some independent studio might be able to pick those things up and then create the game that we've all been clamoring for without this big overlord corporation trying to build it instead.
All right, fingers crossed for 10 years from now.
I got my glass half full.
There it is.
I'm gonna be retirement age, and I'm finally gonna get that new game that I want. It's gonna be crazy. All right, let's move on to the
retired.
Yeah, right. That's true. I have the time finally. Jake, what story would you like to talk about?
Oh, let's talk about Nintendo's patents being re-examined. So Nintendo was denied a patent in Japan relating to monster capturing gameplay.
What?
I wonder what game they've been fighting with for the last couple of months. This has caused the U.S. Patent Office, by order of its president, to reevaluate the visibility of Nintendo's patents. So even the patents that they were denied one in Japan, and it has a ripple effect all the way into America. So their patents here are going to get hopefully denied, because then other people can just be like, hey, we can do stuff that Nintendo doesn't want to do, like gunfighting Pokemon. That'd be great. Experts weigh in that it is highly likely that Nintendo will have its permits revoked due to similar mechanics in many games going unchallenged. So basically every game that has a monster collecting mechanic that Pokemon or Nintendo has never gone after, they're going to see that as it didn't bother you then. Why does it bother you now? You're not going to hold the patent to it because they also do something and it never bothered you then. So they would have to go back and challenge. They would have gone back. They would have had to have challenged every single one as they came out.
Which they got the lawyers in the capital to do it, but still, that's a lot. That's a lot of work.
Well, what was it? We were playing just this morning, and Zach brought up Jade Cocoon, and Nintendo could have gone after that. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the same thing.
That's true. Yeah.
So even all the way back on the PlayStation, they would have been going after people.
I'm torn on this whole thing because I mean I've always been a fan of Nintendo since I was a kid, and I'm also in favor of a company protecting what is theirs. But it seems like they are making so many patents we're going to claim the letter Z. I mean, I'm exaggerating this. They didn't actually do that, but you know what I mean? Like,
Not yet.
not yet. But don't give them ideas, right? But
Well,
so
doing some digging, Nintendo has always been kind of a scummy company.
oh
Like,
yeah, I mean they'll shut down.
no, I mean, even like the original, like getting games on the NES, like
Oh
you
yeah,
didn't just make the
Mhm.
game and whatever. You had to buy their chip, you had to buy their cartridge, you had to buy this, you had to buy that, and it's like,
and you were
okay, and then
limited to how many you could make each
yeah,
year or something like
and then
that.
you still had to give them a certain cut of whatever you
Yeah.
made off of it. So it's like, come on, Nintendo, like stop being a douche.
Yeah,
They don't have patents for that, Jake.
Right.
Summer's Eve owns that market.
Oh, that would be a crazy fight.
All right, well, I
Pokemon
guess
brought
it's up
you
to
by
me.
Summer's Eve.
I guess it's up to me to talk about more bad news. Well, at least bad news for some people. These delays. Let's start with the softball, which is Marvel 1943: The Rise of Hydra. We hadn't really seen much of this game, so I don't feel like this one comes as much of a surprise. But it is delayed to quote beyond early 2026. So I don't know. It's starting to feel like this one we may not see until 2027. But don't quote me on that. Here is the quote from social media at Skydance Games. Our goal is to deliver unforgettable premium games that honor the characters and worlds we're fortunate to work with. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is an ambitious project, and we are committed to ensuring it meets the level of quality that our team, players, and fans expect. To fully realize our vision for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, we've made the decision to shift our release window beyond early 2026. We're grateful for the passion and support from the community and players around the world. The team is working hard to create something truly special, and we look forward to sharing more with you as development progresses. Unquote. I'm just ready for studios to stop releasing release dates until 6 months or less.
Mhm.
Like,
Until they have a finished product. Come on. Like
why
you
is
know
that
it's
so
gonna
hard?
come out.
Especially a game like
No.
GTA 6. Do you even need the 6 months? You could shadow drop that game tomorrow, and it would still be the best-selling game of all time when it's all said and done. Rise of Hydra, sure, you need to build some momentum, but I don't know.
And they're going to have to delay that one probably till 2027 if Wolverine stays on target, because that one's fall of 2026. And will they really want to compete with another Marvel IP?
Who knows?
Maybe.
But the big one is Grand Theft Auto
big one.
6. The new release date, it was originally, what was it, May 26th or something of 2026? It was May. Right?
Originally, I thought it was into the 2025. I thought it was just past the original release date.
Originally, yes, but I was talking
Yeah.
about like the new release, the new release date. Now we have a new release date. Anyway, the new release date is November 19th, 2026. So about a year from now, we're on Thanksgiving. What a weird time for a title like Grand Theft Auto 6 to be coming out. I mean, right before Christmas, I guess that makes sense. But this also comes off the back of 40 fired employees in an alleged union busting move, though we talked about that last week, though that would obviously be unrelated. A verified Rockstar employee under anonymity said these firings bring the union count under the 10% threshold needed for recognition and collective bargaining. The fired employees have also been protesting outside of Rockstar headquarters. 40 people protesting. I more power to you, man. I hope it does some good. I just kind of wonder if it's going to do some good. But because once this game releases, everyone's going to love Rockstar again.
Yep.
So it says the anonymity said that these fireys bring the union count under the 10% threshold. Okay, well, if you keep firing people trying to unionize, you're never going to make it there. So
That's their strategy, right?
right. Oh, we
Yeah.
found another 40 people. Get rid of them before they get to
Right.
10%. Okay, so now we just blah blah.
But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Rockstar is so big at this point that they can do anything and people will forgive them just because they want to play their game, which sucks.
Yeah.
And not enough people will not play this game, you know, on principle, and it's going to happen. I don't have a problem skipping it. I actually beat 5, played through 5, enjoyed it, didn't touch any of the multiplayer, but I am not excited for this game. I'm going to tell you right now, like if this one's going to come by and it's whatever for me, I really don't care. It does not interest me at all to play this game.
Snip that one. Snip that statement. Tell us how you feel in like November 20th, 2027, or
Dude,
whenever it comes out.
I played through 5 begrudgingly. Like I was not enjoying that game. The only thing that kept me going was Trevor, and just to see what messed up stuff he was going to do next. But I just really didn't enjoy the game.
I played through 4. I
Mhm.
loved 4. That was crazy. And then 5 came out, and I always, unless I'm absolutely in love with the genre, the game, or the name, or whatever, I go out and buy it immediately. But I gave it some time. I wanted to see some footage of it, and then people were doing some wacky nonsense, driving up the side of walls, flying, and whatever. And I was like, that just looks like Saints Row. Like, we already have Saints Row, which is Saints Row.
Well, they
Let
turned it
Saints
into
Row
Saints
be
Row.
Saints Row, and make GTA again. And then it was just nonsense for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I've never played GTA 5
at all.
It
was impressive when I came out, just like how alive that world felt. I actually saw a video today. Somebody got a bulldozer to the top of a skyscraper and just drove it off the skyscraper to see what happened. We're talking like dozens of floors, and it just hits the ground and bounces and lands on its wheels fine. Like it just anyway.
He didn't roll the killdozer backwards and decide to fly away and try to land it in a jet plane or
I've seen that stuff. That stuff is crazy. Just some of the stunts that people try to pull off on that. But my question is, I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, that this whole thing has an impact on the industry. Number one, how many games moved their release date out of the way of whatever date it was that I forgot to write down, the May or June release date, to not land on that, and now that's wide open.
Yep.
Are they going to reassess and say, hey, now that's a safe place for us to release our game? And number two, nobody's going to release anything. That's holiday season. That's right in the middle of holiday season, which on one hand is good because that's when people are thinking about Christmas gifts, right?
Yeah.
But how many people are going to hold off on picking up Grand Theft Auto 6? I'm not going to play it. I'm getting it for Christmas. I got to wait for my wife to buy me my copy. Come on. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
No.
I just think it's going to be interesting to see release dates. Again, we're going back to a shell game of like, here's when we're releasing it. Now we're releasing it over here. And have we ever had a game that had, like, it happened with Silksong? Remember when Silksong was going to be released and then they delayed it and then everyone was like freaking out and we called them, they got Silksonged. Now it's the same kind of thing, but Grand Theft Auto. And is this one going to stick? Is this date going to stick?
Who knows? I mean, at this point, any time that GTA 6 hits the market is going to cause an upset.
Yes.
Like other video games are going to be hurt.
Yeah. Well, I'm in the minority because Jackie-san over in our chat says, I'm beyond excited for GTA 6. Love the series since GTA 3. It's the best open world to explore. Like I said, I'm in the minority of people that I just really don't care. Like I said, I played through 5 just because FOMO was a thing. I wanted to see what everybody was so excited about. But I'm not in a place where I'm lacking for other games to play at this point. And I will let Zach have his fun with GTA 6. And I'm not knocking the game. It's just a series that's never been
a game that's not for you.
Yeah. I would rather go back and
TM.
I would rather go back and play 4 at this point and see what everyone's talking about there, because apparently that game is fantastic.
Cousin, let's go bowling.
Yeah, you already missed that one.
I played that far.
Pre-order. Just pre-order it, Scott. You know you want to.
I really don't, though. I really don't. And that's going to be that's going to be $100 game.
Oh,
mark my words. That's going to be $100 game at launch. People are going to pay it
with a monthly subscription to online.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
with the way what's his face was talking. I forget who said it, but yeah, he wanted them to pay hourly. So
what was the guy that wanted people to pay for bullets in the game? Remember that one?
Oh God,
that.
Yeah, no. I would be broke.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, well, that's the week's news. Pretty interesting stuff going on, but let's go ahead now and jump into the new games that we've been playing. All right, here's some things coming out in the coming weeks that you can plan to pick up if you'd like to. First off, Where Winds Meet coming out on PS5, PC, iOS, and Android on November 14th, alongside Call of Duty Black Ops 7 coming pretty much everywhere except for Switch. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero on Switch and Switch 2. Those are all November 14th. November 15th, Escape from Tarkov comes out of 1.0 and officially releases on PC, PS5, and Xbox. And then on the 17th, The Berlin Apartment coming to PS5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. Force Strike on Switch and PC. Indica gets a port over to Switch as well. And then over on November 18th, SpongeBob SquarePants Titans the Tide, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, Switch 2, and PC. Morsels, PS5, Xbox Series S and X, Switch, and PC. And then November 19th, Demon School, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Moonlighter 2, The Endless Vault on PC. I believe that is early access. I don't think that is 1.0 for that, but coming on the 19th. And then Duskpunk, also on PC. Then November 20th on Switch 2, Kirby Air Riders. Still not sure who is super stoked for that game. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl on PS5. Neon Inferno on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Outlaws and a Handful of Missions remaster, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. And lastly, Samurai Academy, Paws of Fury on PlayStation 5, Xbox S and X, Switch, and PC. Jacob, anything trip your trigger out of that list?
Moonlighter 2 actually looks really good. I didn't play the first one, but
that's mine too. I'm so excited for that game. I
figured you've played the first one, so
oh my god, it was my favorite game of that year. I think was it my favorite? It was up there, and I am chomping at the bit. It was all I could do to not request a review copy of that game, because number one, I'd rather play it on Xbox, and number two, I have a lot of other things to play right now, and I can just wait for 1.0.
And it does look like it's coming to early access on Steam.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mark, what about you? Anything off this list intrigue you?
A couple of things. Well, I'm going to say Kirby Air Riders kind of because Nintendo really wants us to play this game. I mean, they're putting a lot of effort into advertising that one.
They had like a 20-minute video trying to sell
Kirby.
this game, which is crazy to me.
But the one that really caught my attention was Where Winds Meet. Just the environment that it was in. I love games that take place in that era. It looked fantastic. The story, the Oriental Wind instruments, I could listen to those all day long. As long as nobody says the word Souls-like, I'll be there.
There you have it.
Souls-like.
I guess Mark's not there. Okay. Well, Mark, you were the only one of the three of us that have played anything new this week. My time has been pretty much predominantly trying to get through Claire Obscure Expedition 33, but you've been playing on PC a game called Casting Whispers.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from Lantern Bay Entertainment. They also published it, and we were provided a copy from Mark Allen PR. This came out like right around Halloween time. It looks spooky. What makes this one what sets this one apart from other scary games in the genre?
It's just how effective they are at making it spooky. So is it a game that you've played before? Absolutely. Absolutely. You have a walking simulator in a spooky environment. You don't know what's going on. The delivery of this environment is what sets it apart for me. I had goosebumps multiple times, and I was only maybe 2 hours in at the time.
Okay.
It's creepy. It's confusing. It gives you a jolt twist that I did not see coming, and I need to get back to the game to find out what the hell is going on, because I am confused and intrigued and scared and excited to find out what is happening. Because it's a really neat story involving 1960s brain shenanigans, messing with people's brains, trying to figure out if they have the ability to have foresight, ESP, things like that. And so they did tests on these people, and they used different kinds of personalities to see who was better at it. people that were using drugs, people that weren't using drugs. And then I don't know what is happening because there's these circular patterns where you're just doing the same thing over and over again. And I thought I was like either the game was broken at first or that I was doing something wrong. No, they are trying to confuse you and make you feel uncomfortable and make you start questioning what is real and what isn't. And they're really, really good at it.
That reminds me of Eternal Darkness back on the GameCube. You remember that game?
I do not.
That was a
either.
game that was messing with you had an insanity meter or something like that, and if your insanity meter got high enough, the game started jacking with you. I literally did not complete that game because I came back and my save was erased,
Oh,
but it wasn't. The game made me think my save was erased and messed with me, and I never
That's
finished it
crazy.
because I thought that, it was stuff like that. This one looks like it's in first person though, and
Yes.
something that stood out to me was that I feel like not too many games make the walking effect in first person with that much movement. Like you walk forward and the camera's going up and down,
Mhm.
and there's almost like this blinking effect, like your eyes close. Is that
Mhm.
in the game or is that just in the
No,
trailer?
that is in the game. So what you need to do in some situations is you need to listen, and you listen better when you close your eyes. So
Oh,
Nope.
the
No,
one of the
no, just
well,
no.
in the game the answer is yes. So
Okay.
Jacob's
you have
out.
you have to close your eyes so that you can hear conversations that are happening. I'm willing to bet that it's going to become like a trust issue somewhere down the line where you need to close your eyes, but you don't want to because there's something right in front of you that you're afraid is going to attack you when you do. I know it. I'm just waiting for it. I can't confirm that, but they're going to play with my mind. I know
This
they
sounds
are.
like a game that'd be great to watch somebody stream.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, it would be.
So like, do you have any idea of the length of this game? Is this a shorter
Uh,
experience?
Based on the price, based on the independent nature of it, I'm going to say 4 to 6
Okay.
hours would be my guess.
And speaking of the
But
price, it is $14.99. Is this one you recommend people check out?
Absolutely. You're in the mood to get some goosebumps and have a creepy first person experience, go for it.
All right. That is Casting Whispers, not Careless Whisper from Music 1701A in our chat. Said there's no saxophone anywhere in this game from what I can
No, there is not.
tell.
No George
So,
Michael.
so the Eternal Darkness game, apparently had a patent out for the sanity system, which
Oh,
expired this year.
Oh,
So it would be crazy to see some new games come out that like really test people's metal.
that is interesting.
indeed.
Well, thanks for checking that out, Mark. It sounds really interesting.
It is.
Speaking of thanks, Mark, why don't you tell us about the next game?
All right. So pizza delivery.
A pizza delivery.
A pizza delivery.
What is this? Let me look at this real quick. Are you on a scooter?
Yes.
I've seen this before. All right, what do you? Because this one it's more it's more than just delivering pizza, right?
Okay. Yes. Yes, it is.
That response is great.
Sure.
Sure. So you have a pizza. It's in your scooter. You do have to take a pizza with you anytime you want to talk to somebody, so that you can share the pizza and they will share their life story with you, and it will give you the key, metaphorical key for you to move on to the next section of the game. When in fact they're using community as a metaphor. This game is completely about dealing with depression. And
Oh, really? Okay.
oh yeah, without a doubt. I didn't think so at first. In fact, in my review I wrote when I first finished it after an hour and a half, I thought I was just wasted an hour and a half of my life. But then I started thinking of things that aren't really what they seem on the surface. If you've ever seen The Babadook, that was the same way. I hated that
Oh.
movie until I learned what it was actually about. It was about
Right.
dealing with depression and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
after that, everything just clicked together. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a great movie.
Hmm.
A pizza delivery was kind of like that. It's still not that great of a game, I'll be honest. But when you consider the metaphorical point of depression that they were trying to make, I connected with it at least. And it had a meaning to me to where I
Okay.
could tell that whoever made this game really wanted to tell his or her story.
It looked
So-
like a very much like a slice of life game, like where you're going
Yes.
around and meeting characters and discovering things about them, maybe discovering things about yourself, and then some
Yes.
light puzzles mixed in there as well.
Correct. Very light puzzles.
Yeah.
So it is 33% driving around on a scooter in pretty underwhelming environments. Doing a couple of quick puzzles just to open up a door or to unlock a gate or to get an item that the person that you're talking to has asked for, so that you can move on, like I said, to the next area. But every character, there's about 5 of them that you run into, so you have plenty of pizza to go around. That's just your extra pizza, though. In the meantime, your goal is to deliver this one last pizza to somebody, and that is the end of the game, of course, when you deliver it.
So you're carrying around this one pizza for like an hour and a half, 2 hours of this game?
There's 2 pizzas, the one that you're delivering and the one that you're sharing. And yes, you're carrying them both for the whole hour and a half, and you're carrying it in the rain. In fact, there's a whole section near the end that's in a blizzard that if you want me to talk about that horrible part of the game, I can. But oh my gosh, if anybody plays this game and you get to the blizzard part and you make it through the stupid blizzard in less than 30 minutes, I'll pat you on the back and you tell me how you did it.
So this one is $13.99. Developer is Eric Osuna and is published by Dolores Entertainment, provided to us by Jesus Fabre. Do you recommend people check this one out at that price?
If you're interested enough in the story, because if you think about it, it is a good story, go for it. Wait for a sale.
Fair enough. Again, that is a pizza delivery. You played it on PS5, but it is also available on Xbox and PC. Again, $13.99.
So
very quickly,
the cure to depression is pizza.
I mean, that's fair.
It's a start.
It's a start.
It's a start.
Pizza with friends.
Very quickly, I want to remind everybody about some places that you can follow us. I already mentioned facebook.com/groups/the GoCast. We also have our Discord server. We have a new member over there to say hello to, Sunny Rays, SUNNY_RAYZ. Welcome to the community. Also, if you get a chance, do us a favor and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to the episodes. It does help us get the word out there. And lastly, check out our website, thegamingoutsider.com. You can find all of our episodes there if you want to listen to them on the site. And you can also find our reviews, including Mark's review of Fast and Furious Arcade Edition, which you talked about on a previous episode, the aforementioned A Pizza Delivery, and also Alyssa's review of Dreams of Another is available on the site if you'd like to check that out. Please do us a favor, read those reviews. We put a lot of work into them, and we would appreciate it. And now it is time for our From the Outside In topic. For this week's topic, we want to talk about difficult games. I mean the ones that are absolutely punishingly difficult. Games like Dark Souls, Celeste, Super Meat Boy, and others that continuously beat your head against the wall. Now, while some people avoid these games like the plague, Mark, there's a good portion of gamers...
Mark!
It looks great under the bus.
There's a good portion of gamers that prefer games that are incredibly difficult. So what about you guys? What are your feelings about hard video games?
I love them.
Well, you got the time, man. You got a little bit more time to you do have a lot more time.
Even when I worked a full-time job, I still beat my head against a wall.
Yeah. I mean, I've done my fair share of difficult games, but not like the Dark Souls and things like that. Go ahead. Do you have thoughts, or are you just...
I like them.
That's all you got?
So Dark Souls, Demon Souls, when it first came out, let me be clear, Demon's Souls, there's an extra S in there for whatever reason. When that game came out, I was immediately attracted to it because it was like an RPG. And I was like, okay, cool, you run around, you do this, blah, whatever. And then it hooked me with its death mechanic. Because you die and you restart, you try to get back to where you died and collect your stuff, and you die again, it's done. The problem is I don't care about that. There's been games that are like, I went back and tried to play Champions Return to Arms, old PS2 game. That one's even worse because when you die, it just resets to the last checkpoint. Instead of restarting the whole game, it just completely wipes everything you've done since a checkpoint. So if you haven't been to a checkpoint in 20 minutes, all that stuff is gone. You're just gone. So the Souls games are actually a little forgiving based on older games, but I still understand. It's the idea that the developers try to lead you into spots of what you think is safety, and then they punish you there are these things that I call kick traps, which I'm sure everybody calls them kick traps, but you walk past a little barrel or something, and there's an enemy. It doesn't matter how big or how small or how strong the enemy is. It just kind of shoves you, and then you gently fall off the ledge, and you're just kind of going, why did I fall for that?
There's an infamous video from Giant Bomb back in the day. They used to do like let's play videos, and they were all playing, I think it was Dark Souls. And I remember watching it and just laughing hysterically because it was exactly what you're talking about. Like he was sneaking around a corner, and there's a skeleton there that just like kicks you, and then like you just completely fall off the ledge. Kind of reminds me of what happened last week in our Baldur's Gate 3 campaign. We were doing this trap thing, and like you guys kept getting flung off the cliff, and it's hilarious. But those guys' reactions to that was those guys' reactions to that is a mixture of hilarity but also frustration that like why didn't I see that coming? And those I feel like FromSoft and those other developers that do things like that are just experts at creating those things, of putting you in situations where you feel like you're doing the right thing and you're not. And
they hurt
they
you
very cleverly, but you enjoy that. You like the learn from your mistakes over and over and over again until you get better at it.
And over the years, because I know they're going to try those traps, I don't fall for them anymore. Even when playing Elden Ring, they were there, and I knew that they were going to be there by certain setups and things or whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, you're in the third person, so you're kind of like leaning around the corner trying to see if there's a person there. And sure enough, the guy's there waiting, and you kind of kite him to do a little attack and stuff. And it's like, oh, you would have got me. And
right,
there are times where I still fall for it because I am not thinking about where I'm at or how fast I'm going, or
get overconfident.
I'm thinking about the next step. I'm thinking about like the next part of the path that I need to take to get to where I'm going. And all of a sudden, boom, this enemy just kicks me off the ledge. And I'm just like, why did I let that happen to myself?
Well, if you think about it, games don't really do that too much anymore, where they teach you by failure. Like we've talked about this on the show so many times. Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
They did not teach you that you need to jump on the heads of Goombas. You ran into that Goomba and learned, oh, I can't do that. So I need to, jump over him. And you learn by trial and error. And that's what games like Dark Souls. I mean, there are so many more difficult games than just Dark Souls. I just feel like it's an easy one to go to. But so what is it about those games that are so appealing for you? Is it the learning nature? Is it the satisfaction of overcoming an obstacle, or like what you were talking about, like just becoming better as a player over time? What is the appeal?
In some of those, like not that I've ever beaten it or whatever, I don't have the time. I don't want to give it the time. I have the time. I don't want to give it. But one of my favorite games is Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. And that's the one where you're in a pot with a pickaxe and you're trying to get yourself over the mountain, and it gets really ridiculous or whatever.
This is a game.
Oh yeah, look it up.
I've never heard of this.
Look it up. You're gonna hate it. But yeah, getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. And he's narrating the entire time, and he's talking about like frustration and sticking with it and perseverance and all this kind of stuff while you're playing it. But it is an unforgiving game that if you miss something, you basically go to start, or you fall until you catch yourself, and it sucks. But it's one of those games where you do have to persevere and get better, and you just get good at it. And so my joy in these games is playing and discovering and then overcoming those problems, like playing the Dark Souls and all of those things, especially the Dark Souls series itself. In the very beginning, mimics don't have a tell, and then you realize, well, I'm just gonna slap the box to see if it moves. And so there's just this community that every time they see a chest, they just hit it. Even in Elden Ring, they told me that there were no mimics in Elden Ring. Let me tell you how much I trusted them at face value. No, not once. I hit every chest in Elden Ring. There was not going to be no mimics. Okay. Oh, rah. No, I wasn't falling for that.
Did you ever find one?
Nope. Probably thankfully, but still, I'm not going to fall for. Well, Helldivers, when they shadow drop the flying creatures, people were going, on the Discord, and they're like, "What is this new creature?" Blah blah whatever. And the devs were just arguing with them. They weren't confirming. They were denying. They were like, "You like you're crazy. There's nothing that kind of stuff in the game." So like the devs do push back. Devs do play with you if if the community is good enough. And so I wasn't going to go into Elden Ring trusting anybody.
Right.
So,
well, especially because like, didn't the Dark Souls and Demon's Souls games like have you could leave notes for people?
Yep.
And they would either help you or mess with you.
Oh yeah.
Like that wasn't even the devs doing it. That was like fellow players messing with you.
Great treasure ahead. Just jump. Don't jump. You'll die. Yeah. There's like the little note, and then there's a million bloodstains. And it's all just people have just jumped off. Like, okay, great.
I love how bloodstains can be left there, even though you just like fell to your death. Like somehow the blood just like shot all the way back up,
right,
and landed on the shelf.
The worst bloodstains. I love watching bloodstains to see if like how other people died, and then maybe I'm like, oh, okay, there's a trap here that's gonna do this to me. Okay, blah whatever. But the worst ones are going into a room and seeing a bloodstain, and you don't see an enemy right away. And you click the bloodstain and it goes off, whatever. And then the person is lifted into the air and slammed to the ground and thrown, just mercilessly around. You're like, what is going to happen to me in this room? what is coming for me?
Mark is like, I'm out.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think there's a level of, I liked games more when there was a level of skill and perseverance that you needed to get through to them. And I think that is something that we are severely lacking in games. And it's not just the Dark Souls games are hard or whatever, but like we evolved out of these style of games where you actually had to get good at the game to progress.
Right.
And so I like hard games. And sometimes I like old games because they are harder.
I'm with you. I feel like back in the day, if you didn't have an instruction manual, you were screwed. Didn't we talk about ET last week?
Yep.
Like trying to figure that game out without a manual was like crazy.
Well, what the Metal Gear Solid 2 or the first one? You needed the box because the only way you got a codex was the number on the back of the box.
Yes. It was like on the
So if you didn't have the original box, you were just done.
I don't know if you had to have that. I think it was for something special. I can't remember if you had to have it, but there was a oh man, what was the game on NES that had Zoda's Revenge? What was the Zoda's Revenge? Was the sequel Star Tropics? Star Tropics had a map in the instruction manual that literally fold out, right? And not only that, but you play the game and it says to put water on the map. And if you were to take that map and put it in water, it revealed the secret message and a code that you had to have in order to put into the game.
No.
And so again, if you didn't have the map, you were screwed. You had no way to do that unless pass around the code on the playground. This is before the internet. We could just go look it up, but you had to have that 4-digit or 4-character code in order to be able to. But how cool is that? That's like a total Kojima thing, right?
Like giving your friends the game, knowing they can't complete it without.
That'd be very mean. Very mean.
Rude.
All right, Mark. What about you, man?
Yeah, I'm an avoid like the plague kind of guy. I want to appreciate them. I really, really do, because the skill level that it takes to do some of these games and the joy that so many people get out of them, really, it's awesome. Those are games for them, and that's great. So I'm not going to say that they're bad games, not at all. But I learned at a pretty early age that I was not meant for the frustrating games. I remember playing, for instance, Silver Surfer on the Nintendo, and what was I then, 12 or 13 maybe?
Notoriously difficult game.
Yes. So I played it for maybe one level, and it's like, this is no fun for me. And then I played Bloodborne before I knew what Souls-like even meant. But I played Bloodborne, and I couldn't get past the first enemy. And I said, no.
Oh, not the first boss. You
not
can
the
get
first
past
boss.
The first enemy.
Not the first enemy. So that maybe I should try again, because I know what I'm in for now. But yeah. And then Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers. I was so excited about that game. And then somebody called it a Souls-like. And I said, okay, I'm not playing that one.
Yeah.
So, and I always play things on easier story. It's just because I want to avoid frustration. I just want to enjoy my time playing video games. My personality isn't about challenge, so I don't get the same kick that Jake does out of playing a difficult game. Good for you, Jake, though, man. You play those games and you're good at them, and you learn and you grow and you get through those difficult parts. I am blown away that you're so good at doing those things. I cannot do it. I talked about Baseless. I wrote the review for Baseless a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the last level, I would call that last level darn near impossible. The only reason I got through it is because they allowed like basically a God mode where it's unlimited ammo, no damage type of settings. So
Jake cracks his knuckles and says, I hear you.
Seriously, Jake, Baseless. If you make it through that last level, right back to what I said about the other game, I'll pat you on the back and say, way to go, and ask you how you did it. So yeah, gaming needs to be the escape for me. I don't need heartache and frustration. So if it says Souls-like, I'll pass. If it says precision platformer, I'll also pass. Although Celeste does look like a fun game that I'd like to try, but I have a feeling that I'll end up just beating my head against a wall on that one.
Dude, I beat Celeste, and I am the kind of person that has very low self-esteem about my video game abilities. It's not easy. It is a very frustrating game, but it is a game. Boy, how do I describe that game? Like watching someone play just a random level, like in the middle of the game, it looks awful. But that game does such a good job of ramping you up and teaching you skills little by little by little. So you're eventually pulling things off that 3 hours ago you would have been blown away by what you were doing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it's so satisfying. That game it's really great at, number one, they do the Super Meat Boy thing where if you die, you just like immediately are right back. So you don't have a loading screen. You don't have, this wait time. You're just immediately trying again. But you sit there at the start and everything is basically in one screen. Each level is like just one screen. It's just like, so you kind of sit there and stare at it and go, what do I need to, what is the game wanting me to do? Okay, I see that. And then it's just all about the execution. You know what you're supposed to do. It's never like super unfair. It's just, it just takes a dexterity and it's very, very exciting. But to your point, we have a comment in the comments here from Music 1701. He says, I think when time is a far more precious commodity for us gamers entering our elder statesman era, the tolerance for hard games is far tighter, unless you were Brian Regals. I'm really curious who you are, Music 1701A. I feel like I should know you, but I apologize. I don't recognize your handle. You obviously must know Brian Regals. Brian Regals is notoriously really good at, maybe that is Brian. Oh, it's Paul Hine. He changed his I feel like I said Paul before, so I feel really bad. Anyway, yes, Brian Regals is really good at these games, and like he's constantly posting videos and say, beat another one. I'm like, dude, he's a teacher too. How does he have all this time? And he's a karate instructor and all this, and it's kind of crazy. So for me, that kind of sums up my feelings. Really, is back when I was a kid, I would have been all over this kind of stuff. The challenging stuff was because I had time to hone my skills. When I was a kid, it was if you had to pay money for Silver Surfer, you were stuck with it. You didn't just get to go buy another one because you had limited resources. So your only option was to get good at that game and try to get some kind of enjoyment out of it, or to take a game that you did like and figure out a way to make it difficult by doing a speed run or trying to do a no-hit run or things like that, making it challenging to extend the life of that game. Now that I am getting older, I am trying to get through games more quickly, and I'm trying to enjoy games. I didn't mention it before because I was embarrassed to say so, but I'm playing through Clair Obscur on story mode as well, and it's not a walk in the park. I'm not just walking through that game. I'm still having to hit my parries, and there are some brutal stuff. I'm like a little nervous about going. Part of me wants to go through and start from the beginning when I'm done, and see how much better the parry window is on normal difficulty. Because that's how I started playing it the first time, and I wouldn't say I was struggling, but I was definitely losing battles, and then having to start them now that I knew the timing, if that makes sense. Now that I know what I'm doing, I wonder if it would be that much easier to go through and do it, or if I've just gotten so accustomed to the wide parry window. It'd be pretty interesting. Kevin Haniford also had a comment. I'm sorry. Jake.
No, go for it.
Kevin had a comment. He said, "While they aren't for me, my experience with Elden Ring showed me the excitement that comes from felling a strong enemy in a Souls-like. The hardest game I've ever played through, Shadow of the Beast." I'm not familiar with Shadow of the Beast, but I feel that way too. Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Demon Souls are games that I'm jealous that I don't have the patience to play through because they look fascinating.
Yep.
And when I see someone that I didn't even know was a gamer making considerable progress in games like that, and I'm not, I'm like, there's just something that's not clicking with me, and it makes me want to try. I will say that my experiences with games that are tough are things like Volgar the Viking. I don't know if you've played that, but that is a 2D side scroller. It looks like a Genesis game. Brutally difficult. We're talking like you get 2 hits and you die, and it's all about pattern recognition, or not even pattern recognition, pattern memorization.
Yeah.
But it feels awesome when you get through a level unscathed that 4 hours ago you were like, what is going on? So I get it. Like you, Mark, I played Bloodborne, and the first time you said you didn't even get past the first enemy.
Nope.
Once you get past, you think that's rough. The first boss, what is the cleric beast? Is that what it's called, Jake? Or did you play Bloodborne? I don't remember.
I don't remember Bloodborne, but I did play it.
You're fighting this big plant-looking thing on a bridge, and I'm beat because when you die against it, you don't like start at the boss. You have to make the entire run again.
Yeah,
which is actually kind of brilliant because now you're forced to go through the steps again to get there, and it's making you a better player as you go.
Yes.
So that first enemy that you're talking about, it becomes so easy to dispatch because you know exactly what you're supposed to do, and it becomes like, second nature or whatever to go through and just go through these steps and then get to where you're supposed to go. And then it feels awesome. This thing that was absolutely insurmountable in the past, I'm now breezing through. It makes you feel like you were accomplishing something as a player. You were growing as a player, and that kind of stuff feels awesome. I'm the kind of person that in this is like the reciprocal of this. I like games that have easy things that just take time that nobody else is going to want to do, that make my character level up, and then I breeze through the bosses and I feel like a god, right? Whereas this is a different approach to it. This is taking the time to learn how to be good instead of just beefing stats. So there is almost like a badge of honor associated with it that I do get.
I mean, you can absolutely farm souls, but it's not
the same as,
because you're
maxing out your speech skill in Fallout and like just talking through, you know what I mean? Like it's
but you're gonna do a run, you're gonna run back to the bonfire, then you're gonna rest, and you're gonna do the run over again. So you're gonna be killing the same enemies over and over and over again until you're at whatever required level. I mean, I remember that in Dark Souls 2, for instance, you could change area difficulties with an item. And so you would go to the bonfire, you would give the item to the bonfire, and everything in front of that bonfire would get stronger. And so I remember going and farming for those items and then going back to one particular bonfire because I knew how to beat the enemies in front of them. And so I would make that area probably as hard as possible. I think because the way they described it was that if you gave this item to the bonfire, it made the area in front of you like New Game Plus. And so the area that I had that area up to like New Game 8. And so I was just going in there and I was beating those enemies and I was getting a bunch of stuff, a bunch of souls, going back, leveling up, all that, whatever. And it made the rest of the game super easy. And so it is completely possible to go through the game and actually farm and get those levels and all that kind of stuff to beat them. But like when you're going against like a boss, and that boss has weird attacks or a weird strategy to beat it, or, there's just a rhythm of the game that you need to learn. It can be completely frustrating for playing the game for 10, 15, 20 minutes to finally, like, you're struggling, you're on death's door, you're out of health potions, you finally made it to the boss, and the boss just looks at you and just kills you. And then you're like, well, now I got to spend the next 20 minutes getting back down here just to hopefully have another chance. And so I know where the frustration comes from, but like when we're talking about like time sinks and whatever, and going, well, I don't want to waste my time because my time is valuable. And this could be a whole nother, conversation, but any game that has any amount of grinding in it is where I draw the line.
Mhm.
As I get older, I'm going, you want me to spend the next 14 hours doing some menial task to have a chance drop at something. I don't want to do that. I want to with the like the Dark Souls series, I feel like my time is going into something. I feel like my effort is going towards betterment of the game, of my
You're
own
sharpening your skills.
character. Yes. And some of those games that I even I mean have a like Warframe. Sometimes I feel like I'm just wasting time. I'm just dumping time in there for no reason.
That's how I felt about
And
Octopath Traveler. Remember that JRPG
yeah,
from a while back that was a great game until I hit this wall where the only way I was going to pass bosses if I ran around and fought enemies. Granted, it wasn't a waste because I was increasing, but it just kind of just halted everything for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
And I really regret that I never got to finish that game because man, that game was cool.
It's kind of the same way with Shadow of War. You're playing through the entire game, it's really smooth, and you get to the end, and then there's a 20-hour grind at the end to fill a
wait.
yes.
You're talking
It
about
is.
the Lord of the Rings Shadow of
Yes,
War?
Shadow of War.
Oh,
At because the way that the Nemesis system works and stuff, that you had to kill so many captains or bosses, take over so many areas to fill like a meter up, and then once the meter was filled, you got the true ending of the game. And after I had beaten it, Warner Brothers said, "Oh, hey, by the way, we're closing the store and we're gonna get rid of the grind."
oh, so you
Thanks.
did all that and then
I
they
did all that work and then they got rid of it all. But I saw the true ending of the game.
you should
It
have
was
gotten like your own
beautiful.
like achievement or something for that.
There's
Like,
there's a couple of things that are like that where oh crap. One of the first major bosses in Elden Ring, the name is escaping me right now. Starfaller, something like that. I don't remember. But he was nerfed. He was weakened because players are having such a hard time with him. And there is this badge of honor people wear that, like, well, I beat him before the nerf. I beat him before this.
ah.
I beat him before that, and all that kind of stuff. And so it feels good when you do things in games and then you know that other players can't do it.
That's also an interesting thing. That could be like a huge incentive in the future where a game like that is going to offer that here, you get this badge for beating it before something gets changed. You know what I mean? Is that going to be like a selling point to get people to get in at the beginning, instead of waiting for a sale?
One of my favorite things, I think it was it 3? Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring both had this huge enemy in the very beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm.
In Dark Souls 3 was Champion Gunder, and it was just this boss that just basically kicked you in the face. And there was 2 phases to the fight, and it just kind of sucked. But I remember my kids were playing it when they were younger, and they were like, "Well, how do I beat him? How do I get past this thing?" And I was like, "You just have to try. Just learn. Just get better at the game." And eventually, both of them got it. And then they were like super proud of themselves, super happy, blah blah whatever. That kid, I'm trying to get the redheaded one to do some kind of video game stuff because it
You mean
was
like creation?
5 years ago, I think. How old is he? He was younger than that. But he was having trouble beating the first boss in Dark Souls 3. And I think it was like 2 years ago he single leveled blah blah the entire game. So he went through the entire game without leveling up his character once and beat it because he wanted to play PvP at a certain level, and the only way that you could do that is by being level 1 in New Game Plus.
Oh my
And
God.
so he went through the entire process, and it took him, I think it took him like months to do, but he eventually did it. And now he's just like, well, I've done like everything I've done everything that I could, blah, blah, blah. This kid has spreadsheets. This kid has spreadsheets over like damage and armor and this and that and what levels can be. Yeah, he knows too much about that game, but sometimes it's just the difficulty of the game is how difficult you want to make it for yourself. He went way deep into it. And sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes, I mean, Elden Ring could have been a really passive game because I remember I played other than the very first encounter, there's a huge boss that's riding a horse right outside the gates of Elden Ring, and I just ran around him. But most players tried to fight him, but it's very hard to beat that fight. So I ran around it because I was naked. But you get to the first, like one of the first bonfires or whatever. And I mean, I walked through that area 20, 30, 40 times until I got a suit of armor from the drops from the enemies. And so I made it really hard on myself in the beginning, but then later on in the end, I was better. I felt better, you know? So sometimes it is just how difficult do you want to make the game on yourself versus, you know, maybe a different approach is easier. Maybe, you know, a different viewpoint will enlighten you in some manner.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, we all enjoy games differently in different ways,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with any of them. There's nothing wrong with
No.
easy mode. There's nothing wrong with making games more challenging for yourself, as long as you're having fun.
That's right.
And as long as those that are, you know, aren't lording anything over anybody else that doesn't play the way they do. That's what drives me crazy. Enjoy the game the way you want to. And
I mean, that's the badge of honor. That's a point.
Right.
I want to wear the badge of honor.
Paul had a comment here I had to mention. He said, as a kid, renting Super Empire Strikes Back was very, very frustrating, knowing I only had it for a short weekend. Paul, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Nintendo or Super Nintendo, because the regular Nintendo one, forget that game. But I played the mess out of the Super Nintendo one, and that game was so hard. So hard. I mean, me and my best friend at the time, Roy, used to sit there and play that game past the controller for hours and hours and hours. That was back when licensed games actually followed the story of movies, and you like saw stuff that you saw in the movies, and it was really cool. And
I remember that.
It was so good. And the you know, I remember the moment I beat Darth Vader at the end. It was a spectacular moment. It was so hard though, just ridiculously hard. But it felt good. And then Return of the Jedi came out, and it was tough, but not anywhere near as tough. The first two, Super Star Wars, was even tougher than Empire. I think they progressively got a little bit more forgiving. But those games, the Super Nintendo version of Star Wars, had you like doing these stupid platforming sections on the side of a sand crawler, where like if you missed one, you would fall all the way back to the bottom and have to start all over again. And this is like the opening levels of the game, man. It was like it was maddening. So, all right, well, that's what we thought about our topic. Let's see what our community said. We asked our community for responses, and I appreciate everybody that responded, because we put up this one kind of late. We had something else lined up for a topic, and it kind of fell through last minute. So Jacob came up with this idea, and we posted it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. We posted
it was yesterday.
We put it up late, and we're just doing the show early. So
yeah, it was a very small window. But Aaron Hughes over on Facebook said, for some reason I played all Assassin's Creed games on hard, the God of War reboots on hard. I've since realized that I need to finish more games than I need to feel hella accomplished. So I've stopped this a couple of months ago and got back into just enjoying the worlds I have the privilege of experiencing. Though I still go through Call of Duty and Battlefield campaigns in the hardest difficulties, because they're rarely too hard for me to enjoy and finish in a decent amount of time. On the flip side, I don't like Souls-likes due to their intense learning curves and difficulties to me. Just games that aren't for me. That's interesting to me, because I'm sorry, but Call of Duty and Battlefield games on hard, that's ridiculously difficult to me. But I feel like that's just a carried over skill, right? Like once you get good at playing it on expert, you're just good at it on expert, because those games are very, very similar, right? You're just kind of experiencing the story.
Kind of muscle memory, yeah.
Yeah. But Souls-like are, you kind of you have to start from the bottom every single time. So he likes playing those games that he's already good at, that he spent years and years and years being a good player at them. And then when it comes to a game that he has to start from the bottom and relearn, that's not enjoyable for him. I get it. I get it. Mark, you want to read the next one?
Sure. Over on Discord, Jackie-san says, nope. What's funny is I've tried those 3 games, Sifu, Bloodborne, and Returnal, and did not get far. I don't have time or patience in my older years to play something that's obtuse or just straight up difficult.
I relate. It just sucks because I want to. Like I have Returnal sitting right over here, unwrapped. I've never opened it. I got it on sale for $25 because it was like a price error. And you never even open it because I'm scared to death to play that game, guys. Like it looks so hard. And again, with so many games out there, I would just rather enjoy my time, especially because my time is getting so much more limited. And I'm not gonna feel guilty for that. I've decided I'm just not going to feel guilty. I feel left out. I've definitely got some FOMO because I'm missing out on those awesome experiences that everybody had with Elden Ring. I watched the TikTok videos during COVID, and I was like, man, that just looks so cool. I wish I was not terrible at these games, but alas.
Time or patience. Yeah, those two words just struck the chord with me too. So yep, I'm in the same boat, man.
This next one has a game that I get to talk about. So
I knew
misread 19. Yes, I play difficult games. English is difficult for me, so stick with me. Yes, I play difficult games. Some of my favorites are Bloodborne, Lies of P, Elden Ring, and Armored Core 6. The appeal for me is tight gameplay. An added bonus would be a world I find interesting to explore. I have learned through playing these games that I really enjoy the challenge, especially the From Software games. They present the player with a challenge that at first seems insurmountable. With persistence and skill, the challenge can be overcome. For me, it's the best feeling in gaming. Armored Core 6 came out, and I immediately dropped 100 hours in probably like 4 days.
Wow. There aren't 100 hours in 4 days.
No, there's not. But I was gonna say, I think it was like a week. I locked myself in my room, and that's pretty much all that I played. I beat it all three. I got all three endings and did whatever and blah blah blah. And the problem that I found with this Armored Core was that there wasn't a lot of selection when it came to changing up the mech. So once you got into an idea of where you felt comfortable, it just came to how good you are. Right. And so as you're flying through these levels and trying to do things, all of a sudden some random enemy that you didn't notice catches you, and now you're at half health, and now you're managing your health. You're trying to not get hit and keep an eye out and blah blah whatever. And yeah, some of those bigger levels towards the end, they're just like wall smashing. Like you're just hitting your head against it, hoping for the right run to, oh, my missiles didn't catch this time. Maybe they'll catch next time. Maybe I can dodge this attack. Maybe I can, whatever. If I get
there's random nature to it. Like your stuff might not work even if you do everything right.
It's not random per se, but it's like if you shoot your missiles at the wrong time and they're getting ready to move, your missiles miss. And so you're kind of, there's a rhythm and a balance to when you're doing things. The enemies have an idea of like, if you're at this range, they do this attack. If they're at that range, you do this and blah, blah, whatever. And so you're kind of learning their moves and figuring out how your play style is going to fit inside of their moves so that you can do damage without being damaged. And at some point it just becomes managing movements and energy. Sometimes you have to take a hit to, finish them off. I've done that plenty of times in all of these games where it's like, I always yell at my kids, don't get greedy. That is probably the one killer of every player, is that they see the health bar. They know how much one of their attacks takes out. And so they're like, oh, if I hit him one more time, it'll be over. I don't have to do this again. And they get greedy and they go for that extra swing and they get stomped on and they die and they have to do the whole thing over again. And it became this like, especially with Armored Core 6, it became this thing where it's like, no, I cannot do this. I have to wait for the opening. I have to wait. I have to hold myself back to make sure that I'm not jumping the gun because I don't have enough health to tank the next hit. Like I have to make sure that I'm safe. And it's not even like just one enemy. Sometimes it's like an army. You're just looking for an opening.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that. I'm watching the health bar. I'm like, I could get one more hit in. No, you can't.
No.
You really can't. No. Just let it go. It's not going to happen. Just be patient.
There's the other style of player, which I am extremely guilty of being as well. I am competitive and I like to challenge myself. And there's this little meme that floats around that says, you saw the health bar move. That means you can kill it. And so I'm like, the enemy has like 4 million health and I'm doing 3 damage. And I'm like, yeah, I will eventually I will kill you. It's like I have figured out all of the movements. I can dodge every single one of his attacks, but now I'm just not strong enough to actually do any damage. And I will sit there for 15, 20, 30 minutes, however long it takes to kill that boss, because I know that I can do it.
Yeah, it's the war of attrition, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess that's go ahead.
That's how I like to play games.
I mean, there's lots of different ways I like to play games, but beating my head against the wall is I'm stepping further and further away from that, but I would love to get back into it.
What were you gonna say, Mark?
Indeed. I was just going to say it's not on the show doc, but I did like Thomas Beck's reply on Discord. That was just quite simply no.
No
No.
explanation, just no. I've been trying to convince him to play Clair Obscure. I'm like, and like the further I get into that game, I'm like, oh, it's not a walk in the park. It's not a point and click adventure. But man, this story is so good. So good. All right. Well,
sorry.
Go ahead.
Go end it. I'm good.
Well, thank you everybody that wrote in. That was a lot of fun. Next week's topic, we've already got it lined up. We talked about Maiden of the Dark, that Game Boy game that's going to be coming out that we kickstarted. We actually talked to the developer. He's going to come on the show and talk to us about his game and talk about making homebrew games and what that's like and what that entails. So I'm really looking forward to talking to him. So stay tuned for that. Before we get out of here, I also want to remind everybody we do have a new sponsor, Uncommon Goods. And man, I actually really like this website, uncommongoods.com. If you check it out, use a promo code GAMER. It will get you 15% off of your order. And that does help support the show as well. I'm telling you, I got a really awesome gift for my dad for Christmas that I found it immediately. It was super easy to find. So again, uncommongoods.com, promo code GAMER to save you 15%. And that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Thanks so much for listening. The episode was produced by Kevin Honigford, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website, as always, is stemagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. And also join us live every Monday. We don't normally do this on Sundays, but every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And as you can hear, you can interact with us while we record. It's a lot of fun. Jacob, got any parting words or recommendations for our listeners before we get out of here?
I don't really have anything. I just wanted to thank Mark for being here. I know you're doing a tremendous job over there on the news, and I just wanted to thank you for taking some time out and spending some time with us.
It was a blast. No worries. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. I really appreciate talking with you. It's always it's weird. I'm used to just doing it for like 5-6 minutes at a time.
Yep.
Now we had you on here for the full episode, and you had a fan. You got to get a shout out in the YouTube comments as well. So that was awesome. You got anything you want to recommend for people before we get out of here?
Two quick things. One is an anti-recommendation: the remake of Hand That Rocks the Cradle, which is on Hulu. Avoid. It was
really
pretty dull. Nobody to root for. The main protagonist was annoying. The motivation for the bad guy was muddy and convoluted until they told you about it, and then it didn't make sense anyway. There was nobody to like. Didn't enjoy it. Too long. Anyway, but on the bright side, so a couple of months back, I heard a song from a band called Set It Off, who's been around for a while, but I never heard of them before. And they had a song called Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, which I absolutely adored. Their album dropped on Friday, and it's fantastic. It's only for like 40 minutes long, too, so you're not going to waste an afternoon trying to listen to a long CD. Great music. It's kind of like theatrical metal is what I call it. I don't think that's the actual genre, but that's what I call it. Great CD.
Interesting. I will have to check that out. I like Set It Off. I don't remember it being metal though. Set It Off to me was always more pop punk.
Okay, it's a little bit heavier than pop punk in my opinion, but
yeah, a little bit.
Not. Maybe that's just my own tastes. I'm not sure, but great album regardless.
You got to remember, I'm going to see Fit for a King on Friday, and so that's metal. You know what I mean? Like to me, metal is like the. So like,
oh yeah, give me Avatar all the time.
Oh yeah, so great. I will definitely check that out. I did not know they had a new album come out. My recommendation is not anything new. It's new in that a movie I recommended a while back is now on HBO. So if you've got HBO, the movie Weapons, I talked about it months and months ago. Please go check out this movie. It is my favorite movie of the year. It is some interesting storytelling that has a really good payoff at the end. I really like it a lot. And also, I'm going through a rewatch of Stranger Things in preparation for the final season that's coming up this month. And that is worth a rewatch if you haven't. I know you only got about 2-3 weeks left to do it, but that season 3 is just so good. 4 is pretty good, but season 3 is just just quality. Steve and Dustin together are just like, yes. I want a whole series with just those two together. It was really great. So, well, there you have it. Thanks everybody for listening. We will see you next week. Until then, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson and Mark Szymanski, and we are The
Hey.
Gaming Outsider. I did not say that correctly. Zach Parkerson is not here. I Ron Burgundied it again. I will leave that up to Kevin if he wants to cut that out.
Don't cut
I'm
it out.
Scott Clark. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Jacob Gunderson, Mark Szymanski, and we are the Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.